Basil is most commonly used fresh in recipes. In general, it is added last, as cooking quickly destroys the flavor. The fresh herb can be kept for a short time in plastic bags in the refrigerator, or for a longer period in the freezer, after being blanched quickly in boiling water. The most commonly used Mediterranean basil cultivars are Genovese, Purple Ruffles, Mammoth, Cinnamon, Lemon, Globe, and African Blue. Basil is one of the main ingredients in pesto, an Italian sauce with olive oil and basil as its primary ingredients. Many national cuisines use fresh or dried basils in soups and other foods, such as to thicken soups. Basil is commonly steeped in cream or milk to create flavor in ice cream or chocolate truffles. Lemon basil has a strong lemony smell and flavor due to the presence of citral. It is widely used in Indonesia, where it is called kemangi and served raw as an accompaniment to meat or fish. Basil is used in folk medicine practices, such as those of Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine. Studies of the essential oil have shown insecticidal and insect-repelling properties, including potential toxicity to mosquitoes. The essential oil is found by Huinard et al. 2008 to inhibit electrical activity by decreasing action potential amplitude, by shortening the post-hyperpolarization phase, and reducing the action frequency of action potentials. In Huinard's opinion, this is due to the linalool and estagol, the amplitude reduction due to linalool, and the phase shortening due to both. There are many rituals and beliefs associated with basil. The ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks believed basil would open the gates of heaven for a person passing on. It is a tender plant, and is used in cuisines worldwide. In Western cuisine, the generic term, basil, refers to the variety also known as sweet basil or Genovese basil. Basil is native to tropical regions from Central Africa to Southeast Asia. In temperate climates, basil is treated as an annual plant. However, basil can be grown as a short-lived perennial or biennial in warmer horticultural zones with tropical or Mediterranean climates. Basil is native to India and other tropical regions stretching from Africa to Southeast Asia, but has now become globalized due to human cultivation. Basil is sensitive to cold, with best growth in hot, dry conditions. It behaves as an annual if there is any chance of a frost. However, due to its popularity, basil is cultivated in many countries around the world. Production areas include countries in the Mediterranean area, those in the temperate zone, and others in subtropical climates. In Northern Europe, Canada, the northern states of the US, and the South Island of New Zealand, basil grows best if sown under glass in a peat pot, then planted out in late spring, early summer, when there is little chance of a frost. However, it can also thrive when planted outside in these climates. Additionally, it may be sown in soil once chance of frost is past. It fares best in well-drained soil with direct exposure to the sun. Although basil grows best outdoors, it can be grown indoors in a pot and, like most herbs, will do best on a sun-facing windowsill, kept away from extremely cold drafts. A greenhouse or row cover is ideal if available. It can, however, even be grown in a basement under fluorescent lights. Supplemental lighting produces greater biomass and phenol production, with red plus blue specifically increasing growth and flower bud production. UVB increases the volatiles in O. Basilicum essential oil, which has not been reproducible in other plants, and so may be unique to the genus or even to this species. Basil plants require regular watering, but not as much attention as is needed in other climates. If its leaves have wilted from lack of water, it will recover if watered thoroughly and placed in a sunny location. Yellow leaves towards the bottom of the plant are an indication that the plant has been stressed. Usually this means that it needs less water, or less or more fertilizer. Basil can be propagated reliably from cuttings with the stems of short cuttings suspended in water for 2 weeks or until roots develop. Once a stem produces flowers, foliage production stops on that stem, the stem becomes woody, and essential oil production declines. To prevent this, a basil grower may pinch off any flower stems before they are fully mature. Because only the blooming stem is so affected, some stems can be pinched for leaf production, while others are left to bloom for decoration or seeds. Picking the leaves off the plant helps promote growth, largely because the plant responds by converting pairs of leaflets next to the topmost leaves into new stems. Once the plant is allowed to flower, it may produce seed pods containing small black seeds, which can be saved and planted the following year. If allowed to go to seed, a basil plant will grow back the next year. Basil suffers from several plant pathogens that can ruin the crop and reduce yield. Fusarium wilt is a soil-borne fungal disease that will quickly kill younger basil plants. Seedlings may be killed by Pythium damping off. A common foliar disease of basil is gray mold caused by Botrytis cinerea. It can cause infections post-harvest and is capable of killing the entire plant. Black spot can be seen on basil foliage and is caused by the fungi genus Cultitrichum. Downy mildew caused by Peronospora belbari is a significant disease, as first reported in Italy in 2004. It was reported in the US in 2007 and 2008. Non-pathogenic bacteria found on basil include Novosphingobium species.